2019 and yearly report for 2019, resolution from Charleston Recording regarding fully funded emergency 911, and resolution from North Kingstown School Committee regarding field trip funding loan. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Zelinski. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. O'Hara. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mrs. Marmoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. It has been removed. Take care of A on the old business, B on the new business. Discussion by council board or action on Mike DeBrois, Vice President, Board of Directors for High Rocks, condominium on obtaining trash collection at the condominiums located at 1 Suffolk Drive. Continue distance to his house, we get more information from you and the Director of Public Works.
I received some information on this this afternoon. I haven't had a chance to sit down with the administrator today. I discussed this with Mike. I think in fairness to everyone, the numbers that I received, I have some questions. I've directed Meeker to sit down with the vendor, who presently is working at High Rocks, kind of tighten it up. But I think that after we speak, that we also have the proposal for the new trash and recycling contract that we need to talk about. I've requested a meeting this week with that vendor to tighten that up and also to tighten up High Rock. My only request would be that if we can bring this to the next meeting, that we put this at the top of the agenda for Mr. DeBrois, so we don't have to sit here until 10 o'clock at night.
Motion, Mr. President, to bring this to February 3rd meeting, put it up.
Sorry.
Doesn't always go on. It's not always big.
It's interesting seeing all the money and, well, the little money we're asking for.
As long as you're in
Waiting all money for
As
that.
long as you're in agreement that
I do, thank you very much. I appreciate what Mr. was able to do, but again, I only was able to talk to Mega Friday afternoon, and they just received the information this afternoon, so I'm all in favor for allowing them more time to review it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ray, is it true that Mega got bought out, or Mega's buying somebody out, one or the other?
Yes.
They were bought out.
Mega got bought out.
Yeah.
So it's,
Conference meetings, taking a little bit.
that's what's a little bit of the delay.
We're right there.
Discussion by council vote on other action on appointments to boards and commissions.
There's a motion.
There was a motion on the table to continue.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Motion by Mrs. Zelinski, is there a second?
No.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Bottomley, or Mr. O'Hara. Roll call vote.
Mrs. Marmoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Next, discussion by council vote on other action on appointments to boards and commissions, juvenile hearing board, appointed by the town council. Do you have a name?
Mr. Butler?
Jeff Butler.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mr. Butler to the Juvenile Hearing Board.
Motion by Mrs. Zelinski, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. O'Hara. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mrs. Marmoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Next item, Conservation Commission, appointment by the town administrator with council approval, completion of 1 3-year term will expire 12/1/2020, and a completion of 3-year term will expire on 12/1/2020.
Mr. President, for the term to expire on 12/1/2020, I appoint Steve Berenbach of School Street to that position.
For the recommendation of the administrator, that's the 3-year term that will expire in 12/1/2020.
Yes.
Motion to accept the, or we don't, yes.
With council approval.
Yeah, motion to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Zelinski, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. O'Hara. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Marmoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
Yep.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. And the 3-year term that will expire in 12/1/2022.
For that term expiring 12/1/2022, Mr. Joseph Kerrigan, also of School Street. The other end, though.
Yep. There a motion to approve the administrator's
So moved.
appointment. Motion by Mrs. O'Hara, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Bottomley. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Marmoli?
Yes.
Mrs. Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mr. Zalinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Next item, new business, discussion by council board other action on Souza Family Limited Partnership Request, purchase 950 Old Smithfield Road, Plat 13, lot 25. What's the council's pleasure?
Mr. President, I think we might want to seek an appraisal out there for that property. And of course, I think town planner, Mr. Kravitz, is looking into DEM, potentially gaining some grant money, so it would start with an appraisal of the property. So I'll make a motion to seek an appraisal of the property. Not knowing how much it would cost, I would say $3,000. What do you think, Tom?
Oh, that would be an amount not to exceed.
Not to
Not
accept it.
to- That's a good amount, though?
Yeah.
Thanks.
For appraisal.
Okay, what do you suggest, Tom?
No, that's
2,000.
not to exceed.
I know,
Not to exceed, and then it gives you some leeway. I know you're not gonna spend it all. So there's a motion by Mrs. Zelinski to seek an appraisal on Plat 13, lot 25 at 950 Old Smithfield Road with a not to exceed number of $3,000. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Bonioli. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mrs. Zalinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Mike, this is the due diligence that you want us to do. We're doing it. We're not there yet. We're not even close. We're not even close. I don't want to make that clear. It's like we're buying it tomorrow. We're starting down that road and doing our due diligence. Next item, discussion by council vote or other action on awarding a bid for tree trimming removal. Ms. Davies?
I'm recommending to utilize the State of Rhode Island Division of Purchases MPA number 372 for tree and shrub trimming removal and enter into an agreement with Stanley Tree Services not to exceed $30,000, which was an approved budget line on the DPW budget.
That's a recommendation of the finance director to award tree trimming under the state master pricing agreement number 372 to Stanley Tree Services not to exceed $30,000. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs.
Second.
O'Hara, second by
Discussion.
Mr. Zelinski. Discussion.
Cindy, tough question. On the spreadsheet in the back, it breaks down tier 1 services. In particular, how do we know which tier? I mean, if I look at tier 1, tier 2, hourly rate for, can't speak, hourly rate include consistent of 3915.
You're going to have to answer that, Rita.
That's how
That's how
big
needs.
I just want to keep.
It's funny because some of them are cheaper in tier 2 than tier 1.
That's right, it depends where they
Yeah,
are.
what-
So what's the
Could you explain that to
with
us?
the overtime, at what point, like 38 hours, 40 hours?
What we normally do is actually, he gives us a quote
Yeah.
for the work that we request, and we work within that budget that we have. So we don't get too hung up on the tier 1s and 2s and 3s.
Okay.
It's a number that we present. We've got $30,000 to spend. He usually gives us a crew of 6 people with a 75-foot bucket truck. And then we supply the chipper. So we kind of work together.
Okay.
And there's 2 other companies on the master price agreement. Stanley Tree historically has been very good to this town. And, you know, more receptive than the other companies to come here and work with us. He knows the area. So it works out well for us. But before I even agree to anything and pass it on to the council for approval, he breaks the whole thing down to us. And so,
Thanks, sir.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mrs. Zalinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Next, discussion by council vote or action on the Black Plain Road pole work as submitted to the DPW by National Grid and Verizon. Mr. Pendergast.
these are just requests from Grid to put up new poles. The location on Black Plain is down, well, I know the people, it's down there, 703 Black Plain, towards Greenville. These were all approved, that I looked at it, I viewed the sites, I have no problem where they're gonna put the new poles and fix their poles.
President, motion to approve pole location of Black Plain Road.
Black Plain is the second one
Well,
on,
the second on the
Ray.
agenda, right, just not talking about the agenda.
Oh, sorry.
So there's a motion.
Motion by Mrs. Zelinski.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Bonioli. Roll call vote.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Ruggiero?
Yes.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Next is discussion by council vote action on the Graham Drive pole work is submitted to the
Mr. President, motion to approve.
Second by Mrs. Zelinski, second by Mrs. O'Hara. Roll call vote.
Mrs. Barnamoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Ruggiero?
Yes.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Next is discussion by council vote action on abatements. Mr. Hayes.
Recommended to abate. I can't even talk, I'm so tired. The tangible taxes for, Sire floors, I can't even pronounce that. They went out of business in 2017. They had 2 bills outstanding. And Mr. Martinez has a brother with the same exact name. It belongs to the other brother, so she's supplementing one and billing the other.
Is that
For
Darrell?
a total, I'm sorry?
Is that Darrell, and Darrell? No?
They have the same name. The middle initial is different.
Okay.
It's
So you're recommending is that the abatement totals $472.30.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. 472.30.
And then we got the 2 separate actions. Yeah, so there's an abatement of $472.30.
Right.
Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Motion by Mrs. Zelinski, second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Bonneville. Roll call vote.
Mrs. Barnamoli?
Yes.
Mrs.
Yes.
O'Hara? Mr. Ruggiero?
Yes.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. And the other piece of that is we're taxing the other person properly, and so it's
The brother, yes.
coming back in, so we're abating them on one end and we're bringing back.
And we're doing a supplemental bill on the other for $382.52.
Their motion to approve.
Thank you.
So,
Motion by Mrs. Zelinski, second by Mrs. O'Hara.
Yes.
Roll call vote.
Mrs. Barnamoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Ruggiero?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Next item, discussion by council vote other action on tank inspection estimate from Containment Solution Services for subdivision at 134 Elizabeth Avenue. Authorization for signature, Mr. Thompson.
Members of the council, we have a fire water storage vessel at this location that is leaking. We need to determine why. To do that is we need to have the tank inspected. It's a sole source circumstance. It has to be inspected by the people who made the tank to determine where the leak is so that we can thereafter figure out what to do with it. It is leaking, I guess, almost about 1,000 gallons a month at this point. The 10,000 gallon tank, is constantly having to be refilled in order to be able to provide the resource to the neighborhood. So, as you can see, the folks from containment are not local, and travel is a very expensive circumstance. I've negotiated with them to schedule this in a time when they're in the area to the point that they can share the travel costs with somebody else.
Yeah.
To at least cut the travel time in half. I'll continue to push on it to reduce it further if we can get a third, inspection into the mix, whatever the case might be. I think that's unlikely to be able to coordinate these things in the same area at the same time. So asking for your consideration and approval to be able to go forward with an amount that is 1/2 of the travel time plus the on-site time that is depicted so that we can get this at least moving in a direction to understand what it is that happens next. I'm hoping that the tank doesn't have to be replaced. It may be a piping problem that is outside the tank or it could be the tank itself, a inadequate installation. This tank is it's not under any warranty that we can identify. We've got to figure it out.
yes.
Is there a vote? So you're looking for a motion from the low estimate to the high estimate in that range?
I didn't do the calculation to say what it would be, but in total. But I'd ask that you appropriate or allow me to go forward with an estimate of about $4,000.
So I'll make a motion to, Ms. Ray, what did you say the amount? For what?
4,000.
Sure, that's a motion.
Motion by Mrs. Zelinski, to pursue an estimate with containment solution services not to exceed $4,000.
Second.
Second by Mrs. O'Hara. Discussion?
If I may, I think, I could be wrong, subdivision regs require a double, not a single wall tank, fiberglass and concrete, is that right? What is this? Is this just concrete? What's going
No,
on?
this is a fiberglass tank.
It's fiberglass, but it
yes.
doesn't have concrete.
I doubt that it's double wall, not storing water.
I thought that was part of our regs, though. All right.
Whatever it is, it needs to get inspected.
My question is, this is just inspecting it, then we're going to have to pay to repair it, and we can only use the company that made the tank. If it's not warranted, we can't use somebody else to inspect it, somebody local?
No, there is no one else that will come in and inspect somebody else's tank. I've gone to the local provider and been pointed to the manufacturer in this case. We don't have another alternative. It's a sole source circumstance.
So for replacement, if it had to be replaced or repaired, does it have to be this company?
Not for replacement. I'm hoping that it won't be replacement, that
Okay.
it will be a repair. The fiberglass tank is a delicate item. It could be that in the installation it wasn't properly bedded with the right material. That'll be obvious from the inside of the tank with a puncture. It is also equally possible that it's the piping outside the tank. And as they do the test on the inspection and the full test, we'll get an evaluation of the piping as well. So hopefully it's not the tank and it is the piping, but it still makes it a complicated process because digging around a fiberglass tank is not something that you want to do cavalierly.
This is something that was put in by the developer.
Yes,
But now the town owns it.
that's correct.
Oh,
That's for 1 year.
I have one more question. Since
How old is this? How old is
Well,
this?
it's low.
it's all
That was done by Mexico.
yes.
Yes.
My other question is, because this is my son's address, are they digging up his yard or they're digging up the road?
This is one.
Well, the subdivision did
Is it easy?
create a separate parcel for this. So, we'll coordinate with the two landowners that it abuts,
Right.
but it has to be done. It's got to be done.
Okay, this is a question. So terms of cash prior to ship, is that just the terms of the cash prior to ship? But we're not paying them up front, right? Usually, can we get that changed to upon receipt?
It's not something that I do.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's what I think. I just didn't know what the.
Yeah, I think they're talking about some type of.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Gary,
This is like a boilerplate type of thing. No town pays for that.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Pay your bag down. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Mrs. Barnwell? Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Do you need authorization to sign that as well?
Yeah, motion to authorize the administrator to sign.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Zelinski, second by Mrs. O'Hara. Roll call vote.
Mrs. Barnwell? Yes. Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mrs. Zelinski?
Yes.
Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Next item, discussion by council vote other action on the Halliwell and Memorial Town Hall future use and schedule for public hearing. This is something that we need to start looking at and addressing as those buildings, one building is vacant, sitting there, and one building will be vacant. We need to start looking to brainstorm with the public what potential uses are out there so that we have some idea maybe going forward what we need to do or what we might want to do. It's not a do-all, end-all, it's just, like I say, brainstorming, get ideas.
Or what we can afford to do.
Well, that's another thing, but we need to know what potentially we want to do and then what the cost would be and all that. It's a long process, but we need to at least start it somewhere to get things going. So I don't know what the council's pleasure is on a public hearing. I don't know if we want to embed it into a council meeting or do we want a separate meeting, do we want a meeting on the site? We people can actually see the buildings at Howell?
Mr. President, I would encourage that the meeting be on a Saturday morning or afternoon, perhaps, and that it be at the site. And people need to see it to believe it in a lot of big ways. And I also I question whether or not this needs to be a public hearing. I think just an open discussion, an open meeting that we're not hampered by, just have a discussion with the public. Not for a vote, not for
the meeting, there's no
an action.
vote, that would just.
Yeah, just get input. And then later, you can schedule a public hearing on actions that might come from it, but just to get input is my advocacy.
Can you send us an email and people will respond when what dates are available?
Yes.
In the next 3-4 weeks. Depending on it, obviously. It
Trust
snows,
one.
it snows, blizzard comes, we don't have it. Next item, discussion by council vote of action on profit and loss report for the second quarter of 2020.
Mr. President, this really wasn't in your packet for discussion. It should have been in the consent agenda unless there's something that you
I'm just going to
have.
make a motion to accept the place on file.
Second.
Motion by Chair. Place on file. Roll call vote.
Mrs. Von Molly?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Rozier?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski? Mr. Vadeney?
Yes. Next item, discussion by council vote or other action. Review of RFP and application from Rhode Island Nature Conservancy, Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank on a program called Resilient Rhody Municipal Resilience Program through Rhode Island Planning Services supporting comprehensive plan chapter 11. Mr. Williams.
Yeah, so I came across this opportunity and I just wanted to put it in front of the council to see what the council's appetite is for it. So essentially,